Hi, you guys. Okay, so today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about something that I think is actually more of the norm than not. Hi, sweetheart. And that is living with someone that has a religion separate from your own. And, that could be anyone from your parents, your siblings, your boyfriend or girlfriend, your husband or wife, your grandparents, your roommates, friends, anything like that. I think more times than not, especially if you're Wiccan or pagan or anything like that, I think that is more the case than when people get the chance to live with other Wiccans or other pagans or other witches. And a lot of times, the majority of the time, when you live with someone of another religion, there are automatic boundaries that get set up. Especially if think of who you live with right now. For me, I live with my fiance. I love saying that word. Sorry. Okay, so I live with Kevin, and we have two totally different religions. I'm Wiccan, he's Christian. Well, two totally different religions. So think of who you live with, and think of how often you actually have conversations about religion, or is it something that you just kind of toss under the rug, not a big deal, you don't think about it, you don't talk about it, it's not an issue. If that's the case, there are boundaries set up between you guys. Not that it's a bad thing, if that's the way that you like it, then awesome. But it is so much more fulfilling when you can have a spiritual connection with the person that you're living with. Because sometimes, and this is the majority of the time, religion or your spirituality, however you want to look at it, is a huge part of who you are. And if you are living with someone that is also active in their faith, and you're active in your faith, how often do you guys really get to see what the other person does? Probably not that often. If you're Wiccan, do you do circles around other people? No, because they're very personal. Okay, well, when you're setting up stuff around the house, or do you? Do you decorate your house the way you want it? Do you put up decorations for the different holidays that don't correspond with, let's say you're living with a Christian. Do you put up, in bulk decorations, or do you just decorate for Christmas because it's sort of close to Yule and you can just kind of bypass it that way? You know what I mean? Like, do you actually make a point to put out things that are from your faith for you, or does that make the person that you live with uncomfortable? So what I want to talk about is something that Kevin said the other day when we were in the car, and it has stuck with me very prominently since he said it. And he said, Krista, we may be of different religions, we may be religiously different, but spiritually we're the same. And that couldn't be any closer to the truth. We are, we talk about religion all the time. He is very passionate about what he believes in being a Christian. I am very passionate about what I believe being a Wiccan. And we love, bouncing ideas off of each other and saying, well, I believe in this, so what do you think? And he gets into it and I get into it. And it's never more than just very passionate discussions, but it's not something to where we criticize the other person. We're just very, very open about what we believe in. And, he's getting into, now crystals are a huge part of my faith. They don't have to be religious, but they are a huge part of who I am and what I do. Sorry, Patches is running around the tripod. And he's starting to get into that and starting to get into, like, he's got a couple crystals that I came home the other day and he was holding on to. It was Dragonstone and Argonite. And, he's just like, well, these are my power stones, and he's really getting into what different stones mean and what works for him, and that's awesome. I feel like that's kind of part of me that he's starting to take on to him. And so we're people that don't like being apart. We are big, mushy, gushy you know, we're at work for 5 hours and we're like, oh, honey, I miss you so much. I can't wait for you to get home. And so when we're like that, since we've moved in together, we haven't really got to do a lot with our own separate spirituality, well, with our own separate religions, because we want to do so many things together, and at first we felt like that would take time apart from each other because they're separate. So what we've decided to do, and I think that this is something that you guys, you know, if you feel comfortable or if you feel like there is that block, that you could start doing with people that you live with. Start incorporating each other's religions in, not, I mean, you don't have to do it separate, but start doing things together daily so that not only can you get back into your spirituality and feel that, well, I guess you could say that high that you get from being spiritual, and you guys know what I'm talking about, but, you know, you can also start, you know, learning more about the other person and more about their religion. So for example, this is stuff that we're doing and that we're going to start doing, because some of it we haven't set up yet. But like, oh my god, okay, so with circles, I haven't done circles in a long time because I normally wait and do them when Kevin's not home, because like I said, a circle is something very personal. I've never done a circle in front of someone before. I've never done one with someone before. I will never record it. I mean, it's just a very personal thing. Well, Kevin knows, I mean, he knows a little bit about it, but I'm going to have him start doing a circle with me, you know, maybe once a month or twice a month. You know, I'm going to teach him what each part means and why you do certain things, and if he wants to call on his own God while I call on mine, then that's awesome. You know, I want him to feel like he can incorporate his religion into what we're doing. I want us to kind of take our religions and mesh them so that we can be spiritual together. So we're going to do circles together. If he starts going back to church, I'll be more than happy to go to church with him. At night, when we sit down for dinner, we're going to give thanks together. You know, we're going to do our thanks, and he'll say, you know, our Heavenly Father, and then I'll chime in and say, and God and Goddess, and then he'll continue on with the thanks. We're also doing, and this is what I'm really excited about, in one of my other videos I showed you guys, in our bedroom, I've got like this huge dresser with a mirror, and we're going to turn that into our altar. And there's going to be two sides. There's going to be a God side and a Goddess side. The God side will be his, and the Goddess side will be mine. And we get to decorate our sides however we want. You know, he'll probably have Jesus and, you know, whatever he wants on his side, and crosses and that kind of stuff. And then I'll have, you know, Goddess statues and candles and whatever I want on my side. And then we each have to take one thing from, you know, the other person and incorporate it into our side. So for the Goddess, I'm going to put Mary, you know, the Virgin Mary on my side, and he's going to put either the Green Man or Cernunnos or something like that on his side. And then we're going to have a mediator in the middle, which is going to be my big Buddha statue with crystals that we both like and stuff like that to kind of mesh both of them together. And on this altar, every night we are going to say our devotionals, and we're going to do them together. So like for Kevin, he's doing devotionals for men, and this is a year Christian devotional thing that he's going to be reading. And then I have, it took me a long time, actually Kevin found this because he's amazing. I am going to be doing the Goddess Companion, and this is on my tablet because I haven't got the actual book yet, but and it also has, let me see if it's got you know, daily, that's the introduction, it's got daily devotionals that I can do, there's January 1st, along with him for the Goddess part. So, you know, and I mean, as we continue on, you know, we can change the altar up, or we can change things and figure out how they work. And if he wants to do more circles, we can. If he wants to do more of this, he can. He wants to figure out how to do this, you know. or if I want to, delve more into certain things. So it's not impossible for people of different religions to come together and work together spiritually, and it's really, really going to help not only your relationship. What is that? Did you guys just see that flying on the... Sorry. But it's not only going to help your relationship grow stronger, but it's going to help you to become more spiritually sound because you're teaching someone else. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Maybe that's something that you guys can start doing in your own home if you feel comfortable. And you don't have to do all of that. You can start figuring out other things to do. Or even if, if you're Wiccan and you want to set up, something out in the living room. And if somebody says, well, what's that? Explain to them what it is. Kind of start incorporating your own stuff into your own home. And, slowly start bringing up those religious conversations so that you can grow together. Now, if it's something to where you really can't, if it's something to where it's a more hostile environment where you're living with a parent that doesn't approve of what you're doing or something like that, obviously don't do that. That's something that you're really going to want to either sit down with your parents and be like, tell me what you don't like about Wicca. Tell me what you think. And, maybe that will help them to grasp what it is that you're doing or why it is that you believe what you believe. Because a lot of times with parents, they're just worried. They're not being jerks. They're just worried about their kids, especially if they grow up Catholic or they grow up Christian, and they think that you're going to burn because of what you believe. That's what Kevin's grandma's worried about with me. She loves me to death. She would do anything for me, but she's petrified when she hears the word Wicca because she thinks of the word witch, and she's terrified that I'm not going to be saved, which is probably what's going on with a lot of other people. So anyways, I hope that this has kind of shed a little bit of light for you guys on ways that you can actually incorporate different religions into one kind of spiritual, into spiritual activities so that you guys can, not only help other people, but help yourself. And yeah, so I hope you guys have an awesome day, and blessed be. See ya.